Edgar Cayce prophesied the miraculous origin of the soul and our entrance into the divine realm. In the heart of Glenshire, whispers of divine revelation fluttered like candle flames in the chapel, the tranquility shattered by the bold proclamation of Edgar Cayce's mystical claims. He spoke of souls dancing amid the stars, forever entwined with the divine. A warmth washed over Mary, a recent widow, as she read his words, feeling a piercing light cut through her grief. Her heart ached yet yearned for some glimpse of hope, a sign, a miracle, anything to rekindle her faith. Just weeks before, laughter had filled her home, lightened by her husband's joy. Now, silence loomed heavy, grief wrapping around her like a shroud. The laughter of her children felt more like echoes from a distant past. Children missed their father's warm embrace. Mary was overwhelmed with sorrow. One evening, she cradled her youngest, whispering stories of heaven, and as she looked out of the window, she saw it, an ethereal glow illuminating the chapel. The air shimmered, and suddenly, voices of the parishioners rose to a chant, echoing from the chapel. They prayed earnestly, their breath rising like incense to the heavens. The moon hung low and seemed to pulse with an otherworldly heartbeat. Mary felt drawn to join them, the feeling racing through her like a divine call. She stepped into the night, wrestling with the doubts that clung to her like shadows. As she approached, a breeze whispered secrets of the divine realm. Within the chapel walls, a community filled with devotion buzzed, Pastor Thomas leading his flock through prayer, rekindling flickers of faith where darkness had settled. Yet, amidst the rhythm of hope, skepticism simmered beneath the surface as some spoke of Cayce's teachings with scorn, challenging the very essence of their community. The coming days rippled with tension. Mary felt caught between believers and skeptics, hearts once united fractured like brittle glass. On the eve of an important community gathering, doubt surged within her. Afraid faith was slipping away, she retreated to her garden. Kneeling on the earth, she cried out to God, lifting her desperate heart for clarity. Lord, show me your plan, I need your light. Then, in that moment of anguish, her grief transformed. A young man appeared, radiating a calm that enveloped her like peace during a storm. He was a stranger from a neighboring town, yet he spoke as if the divine had whispered secrets into his ear. I have a vision, he said, excitement crackling through the air like electricity. As he shared this message filled with reassurance, Mary's heart ignited, sparks of revival flickering back to life. Your family has been chosen. The light will guide you, through the valleys and shadows, he proclaimed. The townsfolk, hushed and curious, began to gather around them. Something holy crackled between the young man and Mary. It was as if the veil between earthly grief and divine assurance had thinned in that sacred moment. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. As whispers of hope spread through Glenshire, so did the tension of disbelief. Friends now eyed each other with uncertainty. Mary's heart raced with urgency to champion this divine message. It felt like fate's last call, a divine appointment. Could the young man's vision truly pierce their questions and doubts? Mary clutched the stirring energy within her. She felt not just the weight of grief but the call of destiny wrapped around her. Around her, the townsfolk murmured, their faces reflecting hope and skepticism, wrestling with shadows of doubt. But Mary knew the power of faith could shine even in the darkest of moments. Was this young man's vision a true divine intervention, or merely smoke clouds of grief? As the night deepened, Mary stood before her community, unsure, trembling with the potential that lay within. Would they inch closer to faith, or slip away into disbelief? The dawn awaited, filled with promises yet to be fulfilled. The air buzzed with divine mystery, leaving her heart racing for the next revelation. As the moonlight spilled across Glenshire the next morning, a profound hush blanketed the town. The day had arrived for the community gathering, and Mary felt the weight of anticipation bearing down on her. She awoke with a fluttering heart, troubled by uncertainties. Would those who once shared her laughter now listen to the words she longed to speak? Would they receive the light that had touched her soul? As she prepared, she felt drawn to her children, their innocent faces glowing with the promise of a new day. "Mommy, are we going to see Daddy today?" her youngest asked, wide-eyed and sweet. Mary knelt beside him, wrapping her arms around him tightly, pushing back the tears that threatened to fall. "Not in the way we might wish," she responded gently, "but he is always with us, in our hearts, guiding us from above." She longed for their spirits to soar, clinging to hope while she wrestled with her own doubts. The connection to the divine felt fragile, like a strand of gossamer. By midday, the chapel was filled with familiar faces, many crowded into the wooden pews. Pastor Thomas stood at the front, a calm resoluteness emanating from him. Mary scanned the room, gauging expressions, some curious, others skeptical. Would her voice cut through the noise of doubt? The young man's words echoed in her mind, "Your family has been chosen." She believed those words were not just a message for her, they were a calling for the entire community. She stepped forward, the wood creaking beneath her feet. In that moment, time seemed to stretch, and she could feel the collective breath of the congregation. The air pulsed with a divine energy that invigorated her spirit. "May I speak?" she called out, her voice clear despite the flutter of anxiety in her chest. As Mary stood before the congregation, she started to share her journey through grief and despair. Each word poured forth from a place deep within her, ignited by faith and bolstered by the vision of the young man. "I thought my heart would never heal," she began, "but then I understood, through Edgar Cayce's words, that our souls are eternal, intertwined with the divine beyond this earthly realm." A ripple of awe coursed through the chapel, and nods of agreement began to emerge amidst the hushed murmurs. "Channel your pain, friends," she implored. "Let it transform into compassion. Our loved ones still guide and nurture us. They are never truly gone." In that sacred space, a warmth enveloped her words. Eyes that were once clouded with uncertainty glimmered with the light of understanding. The flicker of hope igniting in hearts began to bridge the divides that had simmered for too long. A deep hush fell upon them, a collective breath held in reverence, yet not all were swayed. Some exchanged guarded glances, seeds of doubt still clinging stubbornly. She could sense the skepticism swirling, an unseen current. Perhaps conviction wasn't enough. Perhaps a miracle was needed to cement this fragile change. As if drawn by an unseen hand, the atmosphere stirred wildly. A sudden gust of wind whooshed through the open chapel doors, scattering loose pages across the floor. The candles flickered, casting trembling shadows. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Was this a sign? Could it be the Holy Spirit moving among them? Mary's heart quickened as she pressed on. "We must embrace this moment together. God has a plan beyond what we can see." But deep inside, she questioned what this meant for her children, and for the village. The congregation remained spellbound as the mysterious wind seemed to seize the atmosphere itself. Would they accept the invitation of the divine that lay on the horizon, or retreat back into the shadows of doubt? As the energy surged, Mary held her breath, awaiting the moment of revelation. "I believe something extraordinary is about to happen," she whispered to herself, wondering if today would unveil a miracle that could transform everything. What awaited them on this fragile edge of faith? Only time would tell, but the stirring in her soul felt undeniable, urging her forward into the unknown. The chapel held its breath, and so did Mary. Her words hung in the air, alive with potential. She could sense their energy, a blend of trepidation and curiosity, but she also caught the flicker of hope that began to rise like a flame. If only she could fan that flame to life. Suddenly, an older woman in the front row peered up, her wrinkled face etched with lines of disbelief. "You think they guide us? How do we know that is true?" The tension in the air thickened. Mary's heart skipped. It wasn't just the skeptics, it was the burden of her own faith that she bore. Yet, she couldn't let fear push her back into silence. I invite you all to open your hearts. She urged gently, the gaze of the woman softening at her sincerity. Think of moments in your life when you felt an unseen presence, a whisper of love that swept through your storm. Those instances strengthen our connections. The congregation listened intently, eyes flickering with realization as they reminisced about small grace-filled moments in their own lives, the gentle rustle of leaves that felt like a loving touch, the warmth of a stranger's smile and the bleakness of a long day. And there it was, a spark igniting. A man in the back stirred, raising his arms as if yearning to pull something sacred from the ether. I was lost, he began, his voice quivering. I lost my father last spring, and there were nights filled with tears. But I began to feel him near me when I played our favorite songs. It was like he was whispering peace into my heart. Yes, Mary exclaimed, her spirit rising in affirmation. That is the divine. Those heartfelt moments, my friends, are not mere coincidences. They are echoes of love, reminders that our souls are forever connected. Pastor Thomas nodded, a smile breaking the seriousness etched on his face. He stepped forward. Mary speaks truth. The very essence of faith can transform our pain into strength. In our despair, we can still find light through the memories of our loved ones. Recognition spread throughout the room. The walls of doubt softening, like hardened earth after a gentle rain. The shift in energy became tangible, faith's embrace wrapped around them. Still, Mary felt a stirring deep within, a whisper urging her to continue. Friends, this is merely the beginning. She cried. If we can come together to heal our hearts, imagine the power that can rise from this place. Love must be the anchor that keeps our spirits steady against the trials that life throws at us. And we can experience divine manifestations if we seek guidance. As she spoke of unity and strength, the gust of wind returned, this time warmer, as if embracing them in a hug from the heavens. The candles flickered more vigorously, shadows dancing joyous shapes upon the walls. A hush fell as the soft rustle of a hymn began to emerge from the congregation, carried by voices that seemed to swell from the depths of their souls. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound! And in that moment, the sound filled the chapel, wrapping around them like a sacred cloak. Mary closed her eyes, allowing the vibrations of hope to wash over her. This was a hint of transformation, a glimpse of the miracle they all needed, yet, in the depth of her heart, Mary knew there was more to come. She could feel it, could sense it brewing like a storm on the horizon. God is not done with us yet, she whispered to herself as the song carried on, thoughts mingled with prayers about what awaited them in this newfound faith. How would they respond when the heavens opened wide? Would they trust that their brokenness could become a vessel for profound love? The answer loomed above like dawn threatening to break through the night. What awaited them on this journey of healing and divine revelation? A mystery unfolding. The hymn echoed, reverberating through the chapel, immersing everyone in a wave of collective emotion. Eyes glistened and hearts beat in unison, nurtured by the sound that ascended as a fragrant prayer. And there, amidst the beautiful chaos of hope, Mary spotted faces once cloaked in doubt beginning to soften. The warmth of faith wrapped around them, making it impossible to ignore. The older woman who had questioned Mary earlier looked around, her brow furrowed in thought. Then, almost as if realizing for the first time, she raised her voice. I remember something. During a storm when I was a child, my mother sang a lullaby to calm my fears. I felt protected. The room stayed still, her vulnerability laying a perfectly woven thread of connection. Mary smiled, drawn to the woman's testimony. Yes. That feeling connects us beyond this world. It's as if each instance of love creates threads of light, binding us like a tapestry. Encouraged by the older woman, others began to share. A young father spoke next, trembling with sincerity as he held his little girl to his chest. When she was born, everything changed. I felt a purpose, and in those quiet moments at night when she sleeps, I feel more than just her breath. It's like I can sense my own father watching over us. Together, they breathed in the spirit, the shadows of fear cast aside, replaced by courage and shared experience. As the stories unfolded, a feeling of weightlessness enveloped the chapel. It was as if the air thickened with spirit, moving like an unseen wind between them. There was laughter mingling with tears, the perfect symphony to choruses of unity. Mary was overwhelmed yet exhilarated. She felt the pulse of the divine rushing through them all, raising spirits high. Pastor Thomas stepped back to address the congregation in a voice steady with wisdom. Every shared experience is a reminder that love transcends all boundaries. Our loved ones haven't vanished, they linger still. They guide us, love us, and heal us through memories. With those words, Mary felt something powerful shift, like the turning of a page. It was as if divine purpose was reaching down to fan the embers of faith into a mighty fire. This is just the dawn, she proclaimed, fueled by the collective spirit rising like the sun. We are on the brink of a revelation. Suddenly, amid the hush of expectation, the chapel doors creaked open. The rush of wind swept in a golden light that danced like shimmering snowflakes. Gasps filled the air. It was not mere sunlight, but a radiance that bore the weight of majesty. "Look!" whispered a voice from the edge of the crowd. "Can you see it?" There, in the light, a fleeting silhouette seemed to take form, a figure, maybe too ethereal to define, but unmistakably radiating warmth and grace. Mary felt a rush of warmth wash over her, a familiar presence felt many times before. Hope and anticipation surged in the room like a warbling song, each spirit lifting, hearts open wide. "If this is divine presence," someone murmured, "what does it mean for us?" Mary's heart raced, for she understood this moment to be a convergence of faith and truth. The mystery was unraveling, and this light heralded something greater. "Friends, let us not shy away," she called, her voice ringing with fervor. "This isn't just a sign, it's an invitation. An invitation to step into the next chapter of our journey together in love and faith." And yet, as the light shimmered and the warmth wrapped tighter around them, a question loomed like a cloud. What awaited them next in this divine revelation? Would they dare to follow where the light led? The golden light streamed further into the chapel, cascading across the faces of the gathered souls, igniting an unquenchable fire of hope in their hearts. Those who had once felt distant, separate from God's grace, now sensed an undeniable connection to something far grander than themselves. The atmosphere thickened with expectation, thick like the mist rolling over a valley at dawn. Mary stepped forward, feeling the warmth of love enveloping her like a cloak. "Can you sense it? The Spirit is moving," she shouted. It wasn't just a feeling, it was an awakening, a call to embrace a universe rich in divine possibilities. The silhouettes became more distinct, shimmering outlines of loved ones, past and present, drawn together by this ethereal connection. A hush fell over the chapel when a child whispered, breaking the silence. "Mommy, are they angels?" The question was innocent yet profound, and it echoed in the hearts of everyone present. Mary knelt before the child, a wave of gentleness washing over her. "In a way, yes. They are messengers of hope and love, guiding us along our paths." Tears streamed down the mother's face, but they held a new weight, a happiness rooted in understanding. The child's simple question revealed that the presence of the divine was not just a distant concept, but a living reality that resonated even within the innocent heart of a child. Pastor Thomas felt compelled to speak again, and his voice rang out majestically, anchoring the atmosphere. "This light, dear friends, is a reminder that our souls are intertwined in the tapestry of life. We do not walk alone, the love that surrounds us transcends our understanding." He gestured toward the glowing silhouettes. "Let these divine spirits confirm for you that love never dies, it simply transforms." The congregation exhaled collectively, a synchronized sigh of awe and reverence. Grasping hands tightened, and hearts began to beat in unison once again. Each spirit felt united, a multitude drawn together by faith and love, the line between heaven and earth beautifully blurred. Mary's eyes locked with the older woman from before, and she nodded, sensing the weight of their shared history. "Together, we stand on the precipice of a divine journey. This light is not just a signpost, it's a summons. Suddenly, the radiant silhouettes began to morph into vibrant hues, colors swirling together, creating a kaleidoscope of divine energy that pulsed with the rhythm of hope. Mary couldn't help but smile in wonder. "Can you feel the joy?" she prompted. "It's a joy that surpasses all understanding. A joy that calls us forth." As she spoke, hands were raised, and voices rose in communion. A chorus of beautiful sound filled the air, harmonizing with the divine presence that surrounded them. "We are not merely here to witness something as grand as this," Mary declared with passion, "we are here to walk into this revelation and embrace the miraculous." Amidst the fervor, a question wove its way through the collective consciousness. What awaited them if they surrendered to this new beginning? Was the light leading them into a new understanding of their purpose? Time seemed suspended, and the chapel felt like a bridge between worlds, the sacred and the earthly. As the energy pulsated, the mysterious silhouette seemed to beckon gently, inviting them to leap toward an unknown yet thrilling destiny. In that moment of unity and light, they stood there, ready to unfurl their wings. Would they dare to trust the unfolding of this divine adventure? The illumination in the chapel intensified, a divine surge that captivated every heart present. Each flicker of light seemed to send a ripple through their spirits, interconnecting their very essences. It was as if they could hear the whispers of their ancestors, urging them forward into the revealing embrace of love and forgiveness. Mary stepped back, allowing the energy to wash over her. She closed her eyes, letting it fill her, each heartbeat syncing with the sacred pulse that filled the air. When she opened them again, she saw faces transformed by the grace flowing through the light. Together, Pastor Thomas began, his voice steady but filled with emotion, "Let us acknowledge the holy call that seeks to transform our souls." With a hand lifted high, he invited the entire congregation to join in unity. The vibration of prayer rose like incense, ascending to the heavens, each member's voice blended into a single symphony, a heartfelt declaration that echoed in the very depths of their being. People began to sway gently, the rhythm of their voices becoming a tangible entity of reverence. Echoes of Amen and Hallelujah filled the atmosphere, puncturing the stillness with sacred joy. In that electric moment, something extraordinary occurred. The radiant silhouettes before them sparkled brighter as if fueled by the unrelenting spirit of expectation. They pulsated with colors far beyond the ordinary spectrum. Ethereal, yet so familiar, resonating with the pulsing heartbeat of what felt like the universe itself. Mary turned her gaze toward a corner of the chapel, where an elderly man stood, in rapture. His tears glimmered like jewels against his weathered skin. "I have waited a lifetime," he whispered, his voice quivering with sincerity. "A lifetime for this moment." Suddenly, an unexpected hush fell upon the chapel. Every voice stilled as if silenced by a lingering, sacred presence. The glowing figures began to float closer, almost as if they were drawn by the amalgamation of hope and faith flickering within each heart. Mary felt an extraordinary pull, a calling not just to stay but to move forward. "What lies ahead is greater than we dare to dream," she called out, her voice imbued with a conviction that sent shivers through the crowd. But questions swirled beneath the surface. What did this embrace mean? What lay ahead was not just a feel-good moment but a powerful transformation. Would the peeling back of this divine veil unveil deeper, perhaps daunting revelations about their true nature? An atmosphere of suspense arose, like the hush before a summer storm, charged with anticipation. Each person sensed the weight of the moment, the need to respond. As Mary looked around, she saw uncertainty battling with faith, yet she also witnessed changes taking root, hearts awakening to the divine possibilities. With a deep breath, she took a step forward, inviting all present to think beyond what they knew. "Let us journey together into this light. Beyond these walls, we carry the essence of what we embrace here." The chapel vibrated with renewed energy, each soul ignited not just with hope but purpose. And in that unity, a question emerged, reverberating through the air: would they trust the divine path laid before them? As an ethereal voice, soft yet resonant, whispered in the stillness, What if this is just the beginning of something infinitely greater? The light shimmered, beckoning them onward. What awaited them beyond this pivotal moment? The yearning grew stronger, hearts and souls ready for the unfolding mystery. The atmosphere thickened with expectation as Mary stood at the front of the chapel, her heart racing with a sense of purpose. The glowing forms edged closer still, casting a soothing light that embraced every attendee. The faces once familiar and grounded now glimmered with an unexplainable brightness, as if the divine light had struck each soul anew. As silence enveloped them, a wave of clarity washed over Mary. Each breath she took felt like a prayer, a connection to the sacred space they occupied. What lies ahead it calls to us, she thought, feeling the weight of responsibility resting on her shoulders. Looking into the eyes of her fellow congregants, she saw both fear and an unquenchable thirst for truth. "Brothers and sisters," Pastor Thomas breathed, his voice steady, anchoring them amidst the divine tension. "This is no accident. We are here not by chance but by divine appointment. Let your hearts be open. What is about to unfold may change everything." Suddenly, a spectral form surged forward from the masses. It hovered gently in front of Mary, its features fluid yet distinct. Recognition flickered in her mind. It was Clara, a beloved matriarch of their community who had passed years before. Her essence was radiant, and in her eyes swirled galaxies of untold stories. "Mary," Clara's voice resonated, clear and crisp despite being ethereal. "Fear not, for the light of our Creator shines upon you. What you seek lies not in the shadows of doubt but in the luminous journey ahead." A collective gasp filled the chapel. Was this truly happening? Were they witnessing the miraculous? Will we trust and step into this promise? Clara continued, her gaze piercing. "For the miracles we seek hover on the edges of our faith. Do not turn away. You are destined for a deeper understanding." Mary felt the pull of that truth. If this was just the beginning, she sensed that each person here would play a part in unfolding this divine story. She glanced at the elderly man from before, still bathed in tears of joy. "Isn't it wondrous?" he murmured, capturing the sentiments that filled the room. "We are connected, more than we ever knew." As if responding to this, another spectral figure flitted forth, a playful child whose laughter rang like bells in the stillness. "Let us dance, let us sing." The child laughed, bringing an unexpected warmth and lightness. The heaviness of transformation mingled with the joy of innocence, a reminder that faith was not always solemn, it was vibrant and alive. Slowly, the congregation began to echo the child's laughter. Some raised their hands, others clapped, embracing the vibrancy of the moment. The energy soared. They were no longer mere individuals but part of a wondrous tapestry woven in light and love. But amidst the ecstasy, the spiritual dilemma remained. Was this confidence simply a fleeting sensation? Mary's heart ached with the realization of the trials that surely awaited them. Transformation was rarely easy. Can we maintain this awe as we step into our calling? She wondered aloud, holding the congregation close with her gaze. Will we let the light show us the way, even when the path feels dark? Pastor Thomas, his voice steady like an anchor, replied, "The way may be fraught with challenges, yet our spirits are emboldened. With faith as our compass, we shall not falter." As they joined hands, their united voices rose once again in heartfelt harmony, a commitment to one another and a pledge to walk forward together into the unknown. Yet, in the depths of her spirit, Mary sensed something deeper at work. Whispers echoed, urging her to connect with an understanding far beyond human comprehension. What was once hidden might soon be revealed, she pondered. As the light grew brighter, shimmering around them in a dance of colors, a lingering question ignited in her heart. What awaited them on the horizon of this divine adventure? As they awaited the next step, a voice resonated once more, wrapped in the purity of light, "Prepare, for the unfolding begins now." The radiant glow enveloped them all, drawing Mary deeper into a realm of holiness, as if the very air vibrated with the pulse of creation. She blinked back tears, reflecting on the miracle unfolding before her eyes. The joyful child danced around them, leaving trails of light that prompted spontaneous laughter and hope among the congregation. "Look!" she shouted, her voice filled with delight. "There's no limit to our joy." The adults joined her in spirit, laughter breaking loose like a stream freed from winter ice. The walls of the chapel became less confining, the space itself seeming to expand, reflecting the growing connection among them. "Let our spirits soar," Pastor Thomas encouraged, his eyes glinting with excitement. He raised his arms wide, inviting each soul to bask in the warmth of communal love. "This is our moment, a bridge between the earthly and the celestial." As Mary surrendered to the atmosphere, the doubts that once lingered dissipated. The warmth of connection soothed her heart, igniting a spark of faith that had lain dormant. She felt Clara's presence guiding her thoughts. "Be open to what you do not yet understand." Then, a shift in the room grabbed her attention. The child spun abruptly, eyes wide, and softly exclaimed, "The light is speaking. The light knows." It was as if the child held an ancient wisdom within, a profound knowing that blazed brightly in the eyes of the attendees. The air cracked with anticipation, the congregation captivated by the sudden shift. A melody, soft yet powerful, began to swirl through the space, resonating with the vibrations of their hearts. The music felt alive, wrapping around each person, urging them to listen and to believe. Mary turned to the man beside her, the one who had wept with joy. His face, now tranquil, drew the depths of faith from within. "Can you feel it?" she whispered. "It's as if the very presence of God is moving among us." He nodded, a warm smile illuminating his features. "I feel tuned into something greater, something magnificent." The formation of light shifted again. Another figure emerged, a man with wise eyes and an open smile, radiating comforting peace. He took a few measured steps towards Mary. "I am Elias," he spoke softly, as if the weight of the world melted in his presence. "I bring a message of awakening." Every heart in the chapel stilled, shocked, yet resonating with eager expectation. "Awakening to what?" Pastor Thomas inquired, his voice steady, welcoming, yet laced with a yearning for revelation. Elias grinned knowingly. "You stand upon the brink of transformation individually and collectively. The miracles promised are not just miracles of sight but of soul. The true magic resides within your hearts, waiting to unfurl." A warmth rushed through Mary. The weight of the world lifted, and she realized they were on the edge, not merely of discovery but of divine open doors. "Trust your hearts and follow the path the light illuminates," Elias continued. "You are being invited not only to witness, but to participate in the great unfolding." As the music swelled, a sense of divine urgency filled the air. A palpable energy beckoned each soul to let go of fear, to risk and to embrace the journey ahead. Every heartbeat echoed as a collective promise to trust this newfound guidance. "What awaits us?" someone murmured, voicing the unquenched thirst that filled their hearts. "Only a deeper knowing," Elias responded, his smile unwavering. "Step beyond the veil and feel the truth awaken within you. Count the miracles you'll behold, and realize that more are yet to come." With this promise echoing in their hearts, they began to step forward, hand in hand, into the embrace of light and love. The chapel transformed into a sanctuary of hope, and whispers of divine secrets lingered just beyond the horizon. Where would this journey lead them? What light-filled truths awaited in the depths of their souls? As the colors of the divine light enveloped them, one heart echoed the question: are we ready for the power of revelation? The atmosphere hummed with anticipation, a sacred energy wrapping around the congregation like a comforting blanket. Each heartbeat seemed to synchronize with the rhythm of the divine presence that lingered among them, urging everyone forward. Mary felt the pulse within her own chest, a dance of faith igniting her spirit, and she took a deep breath, encouraging those around her with urgency. "Embrace the unknown together," she whispered, her voice steady, yet excited. She nodded toward Elias, who stood with open arms, welcoming them to step into their next chapter of faith. One by one, the attendees began to move, drawn by an invisible force. Their hearts beat faster, excitement blending with nervousness as they approached Elias. He seemed to radiate an understanding that transcended earthly limitations. With every step, the light deepened, filling the chapel with hues of gold and azure, transforming shadows of doubt into vibrant bursts of hope. As Mary approached, she felt a tingling sensation in her fingertips. "Elias, what does this invitation mean for us?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Elias looked deep into her eyes, smiling gently. "It means shedding what no longer serves you," he replied, his tone like the stroke of a soft breeze on a warm day. "You will discover that the shackles you wear are merely illusions, masking the boundless potential within. A reality that has always been there, waiting to be awakened." In that moment, the shimmering atmosphere shifted. Whispers floated through the air, stories of hardship and dreams, fears transformed into courage. It was all woven like a tapestry, connecting their past and future. Each person housed a unique journey, and now they stood at a threshold, collectively yearning for liberation. The gentle child, who had sparked the joy earlier, had found her way to the center, her miniature form aglow with light. "We are not alone," she cried, as sparks danced around her. "The light knows our names." Gasps of astonishment filled the room, hearts swelling with wonder. "Yes," Elias agreed. "Each name carries the essence of divine purpose. When you surrender your fears and accept the love of the universe, you become vessels of that love, passing it onward into the world. This is what the unfolding demands. It is a challenge, but oh, what beauty lies ahead." Mary felt tears filling her eyes, overwhelmed by the weight of his words. She turned to the man beside her, who had first expressed his connection earlier. "What do you think? Can we truly let go?" He smiled knowingly, his eyes sparkling with conviction. "If we don't try, we just remain as we are, a shadow of who we could be. It's time to step into our light." The music crescendoed again, harmonizing with the fervor in their hearts. Together, they began to chant softly, cautiously at first, but as the light enveloped them tighter, their voices rose in unity. Suddenly, the walls of the chapel shimmered like glass, revealing a luminescent pathway extending beyond their familiar confines. The congregation gasped collectively, a harmonious blend of awe and fear sparking a yearning to discover what lay beyond. Elias motioned towards the path. "There it is. The passage into your divine awakening. Are you willing to walk into the light, hand in hand, believing in the beauty of transformation?" With their hearts racing, they nodded resolutely, as if waking from a long slumber. The anticipation soared, electric and intoxicating. "Each step will unveil new miracles," Elias continued. "With opened hearts, nothing is outside the realm of your experience. This is only the beginning." As they moved toward the light, an ocean of questions surged within Mary. What awaited beyond this luminous path? Would they truly find the depths of their souls, waiting for release? In the heart of the chapel, as embrace merged with anticipation, she couldn't help but ask, "Can we handle the truth that lies ahead?" The radiant light enveloped the chapel, shimmering like a heavenly embrace. Mary felt her heart swell as she looked at the faces of her community, a blend of curiosity and hope mirrored in their eyes. This was no longer just a gathering, it was a collective awakening. They stood before a threshold, with Elias guiding them toward their destiny, a divine invitation pulsating with promise. "Step into the light, my friends," Elias called, his voice echoing through the sacred space. "Each of you carries within a spark of divinity. The journey awaits you." Mary took a steadying breath, feeling the weight of anticipation in the air. "Together," she shouted, igniting the spirit of unity that bound them all. One by one, hands reached out, fingers intertwining, hearts synchronized in fervent expectation. The shimmering path shimmered anew, inviting them forward, beckoning them to discover the essence they were destined to embrace. As they walked, the warmth of the divine surged around them like a flowing river, washing away remnants of fear and doubt. Memories of loved ones and moments of grace filled the air, swirling around them like sparks of glowing light. Mary felt her spirit soar, each step becoming lighter as she moved closer to the truth she longed to understand. Embrace the unfolding. Pastor Thomas encouraged, his voice reverberating with authority and love. What is revealed here is the power of connection, the unshakable bond forged through love, reaching through shadows into the divine light. And so they moved, an ocean of intertwined hearts. Each step further dispelled the darkness they held within, illuminating their shared pain, all while weaving a beautiful tapestry of healing. Mary's spirit danced as she felt the collective resilience of her community, a vibrant pulse that echoed her own heartbeat. Suddenly, the light intensified, and all at once, they found themselves in a realm draped in shimmering colors that felt like the very essence of heaven. The silhouettes of their loved ones appeared once more, towering in magnificent forms, radiating immeasurable love and acceptance. Clara and the child stood in the front, faces aglow with joy, inviting everyone in with open arms. "Welcome, beloved." Clara's voice rang sweet like a bell. "Here, we are one. Know that love conquers all. Your loved ones surround you, ever present, guiding you toward growth and awakening." Mary gasped, overwhelmed with emotion. Tears washed over her cheeks as she felt the weight of her husband's spirits encircle her like a warm embrace, whispering words she could not hear but deeply understood. A gentle breeze stirred the air, filling her with a sense of belonging and reassurance. "With each breath, you are transformed." The child chimed joyfully. "The light knows you, it sings your name. Every beat of your heart connects you with the universe. This is your moment." In that instant, all doubts melted away. Mary understood that it was never about definitive answers or resolutions. It was about allowing trust to envelop them all and embracing the journey that awaited. This light, this moment, it was a miraculous transformation, revealing their true purpose and the power of love coursing through their very beings. The congregation began to sing, a harmonious melody rising with the fervor of their collective awakening, resonating above the tapestry of their souls. As the sound filled the air, tears flowed freely, tears of joy, relief, and spiritual release. In that kaleidoscope of emotions, they found strength in unity. "Faith, my friends, is not merely believing in what you cannot see," Pastor Thomas affirmed, his voice steady amidst the chorus. "It is knowing, deep within your hearts, that love and connection transcend all. Embrace this truth as we continue to walk together into divine revelation." Mary stepped forward, emboldened by the Spirit. "Each of you is an integral part of this journey. We rise together, and together we shine. The path forward may twist and turn, but we will never walk it alone." Elias nodded in affirmation, his tone warm and inviting. "Your vulnerability is your strength. Embrace it. Share your stories, your sorrows, and your joys. The divine thrives in the rich tapestry of your shared experiences." And as they stood together, Mary recognized that fear had given way to possibilities unimagined. They were no longer mere individuals burdened by grief, they were a living testament to resilience, united in their commitment to love and light. This was not just the end of sorrow, it was the beginning of extraordinary healing. In that eternal moment, Mary caught a glimpse of the journey ahead, shimmering like the light that danced above them. What lay beyond held the promise of awakening their truths, a transcendent understanding that would bind them in love, and together, as one, they were ready to step forward into the unknown. "Prepare to embrace the love that awaits you." Clara's voice glimmered through the air. "For you are destined not just to witness miracles, but to create them." With hearts as one, they embraced the light, ready to walk hand in hand into the miraculous journey of faith awaiting them. The chapel twinkled in divine radiance, a beacon of transformation, heralding new beginnings and endless possibilities. Their souls free at last, now is the moment to demonstrate your commitment to this divine journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that await you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share this message with the world. We need your voice to echo in the digital realm. Comment below with your heartfelt reactions and testimonies about the ending. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this miraculous manifestation. Let us illuminate the world together. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our channel through these actions. Join us in lighting the way.